So today we're going to be talking about the reproductive isolating and its mechanism. So first we have the prezygotic barrier, and it basically means the preventing fertilization and mating. And there are three isolations that prevent mating. Behavioral, which means that different behaviors can prevent mating, like that even the slightest it can prevent mating. Temporal, meaning like the population reproduces at like different timings. And habitat, meaning, different area in the populations like are unable to mate because, they live in a different area but still in the same population. And then those three isolations prevent mating. And then next we have the isolations that prevent fertilization, which is mechanical isolation, meaning the organisms that has different reproductive organs are unable to fertilize. And then your gametic isolation means your egg and sperm just does not fuse despite fertilization has occurred. Despite mating has occurred, sorry. And these two are isolations that prevent fertilization. And finally, we have the post-zygotic barrier. And it basically means like the preventing producing viable and fertile offspring despite fertilization has occurred. And viable means it's able to survive and develop, and fertile means it's able to reproduce. So the post-zygotic barrier prevents offsprings that can reproduce and grow and develop, because viable means grow and develop, and fertile means be able to reproduce. And it prevents that despite your fertilization has occurred. And then there are 4 of those types. We have the zygotic mortality, meaning your sperm and egg fuse, but zygotes die before birth because your chromosomes are not matching properly. So zygotic mortality means your sperm and egg fuse, but its zygote dies because of chromosomes not matching properly. So basically, zygotic mortality means sperm and egg fuse, but zygote dies due to chromosomes not matching properly. And then we also have the hybrid inviability, meaning the organism is born but very weak and unhealthy, so it dies before it can reproduce, which is called sterile and weak and non-viable. So basically, hybrid inviability means an organism that's like born but super weak, so it can't grow and also can't reproduce, and thus, it dies. And then hybrid infertility means organism lives but it cannot reproduce. And then hybrid breakdown means offspring of a fertile couple, meaning of a couple that can reproduce, is very weak or sterile. So post-zygotic barrier means the prevention of having viable and fertile offspring, even though like fertilization has occurred. And then zygotic mortality means sperm and egg fuse, but the zygote dies because chromosomes are not matching properly. And then the hybrid inviability means the organism is very weak, so it dies before it can reproduce. And then hybrid infertility means organism lives but it cannot reproduce. And then hybrid breakdown means the offspring of a fertile couple is weak or sterile. So basically, in summary, post-zygotic barrier means it prevents viable and fertile offspring despite fertilization has occurred. And then zygotic mortality means egg and sperm fuses, but the zygote dies because the chromosomes do not match properly. Hybrid inviability means organism is born but is super duper weak, so it dies before it can reproduce. And hybrid infertility means organism is born but it cannot reproduce. And then hybrid breakdown means the offspring of a fertile couple is weak or sterile. So thanks for watching. Any questions, comment down below. And until a while, see you later.